am and I'm perfect. Just the way. I'm a masterpiece that the creator, the painter, the great artist in the sky created. If you remind yourself that you are this amazing creation, time and time again, nothing and no one can ever put you down. When someone says something disparaging to you, you feel terrible, right? You feel so let down and small, and you start thinking, how dare this person say this to me? You know, I've done this and I've done that and I've done this, and so many people recognize me, and she had this, the audacity to say this to me. Words are nothing but sounds that come out of your mouth. They're nothing but sounds that come out of your mouth. It's no different from the sounds that come out of a dog, a cat, a lion, or a bird. Now, if a bird went cheep, 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 cheep to you, would you have that reaction? Perhaps it's saying, I can't stand you taking my nest out every time. Why do you walk into my area? You just don't know they're saying it, right? So you don't react. When people say anything that you know will disturb you, you need to use that deflector. It needs to bounce off. Because words are just that. They affect you to the extent you allow it to. So people can say what they want and shout what they want. But if you're doing nothing and saying nothing in return, if you're not feeling anything, more importantly, then how dare you? How could she say that to me? What a mean person. I'm going to say this next time. That's my thought. I'm going to say this next time. I never get the right words when it's due. Then we never feel smaller than anyone else. What intimidates you in another person? The idea that they are bigger than you in some way, more successful, have more money, come on TV more often, have written a book when you only read books, have written several books. They're doing something that you don't do. But I can guarantee you that you do something that they don't do. And you have something that they don't have. And if it's that smile on your face, I can tell you, you are successful right now. If in spite of it all, in spite of whatever comes your way, you can maintain a smile on your face, you are bigger and much more important and much more successful than anyone on this planet. We just have ideas of what success means. Somebody who has money is successful, but they may have very poor relationships. Sometimes when you go in front of spiritual leaders, you feel a sense of awe. You feel that even in front of people that have really achieved something you admire. if it's something you admire, and if it's in a place you want to be, and you're put in their presence, or people even talk about them, or they come on TV, you stop everything and you say, oh my God. You have an aha moment that they have achieved something that you long for, that you admire. And that's okay. That's okay. This is only one lifetime. They've done this in this lifetime. What about all the other lifetimes that they lived? Who thinks about anything 5 years, 10 years, 20, 100 years later? How often do you remember Hannibal, or King Genghis Khan, or Akbar, or Picasso, or Mozart, or Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King? In a day, how many times do you think about Gandhi? They come, they fulfill their destiny, and then they depart. They come, fulfill their destiny, and then they depart, which is exactly what you're doing. And when you're going to hit that pinnacle of success, you don't know. You have to keep yourself open. You might be that person that other people are going to covet, want to be like. Just like you admire some people, there are others that admire you. Isn't it? Even in your circle, your children, your students, your patients. Wow, what a lovely skill this person has. I wish I could learn that. I'd be so great. I'm just a clerk in an office. I know students admire their teachers, want to be like their teachers. For everyone you admire, there are 10 who admire you, want to be like you. So there is nothing to be frightened of or nervous of in the presence of such people. When you see an overachiever, a person who has self-actualized, who has done what they have to do, you bask in that glory. You consider their achievements as your own. A lot of times when we meet such people, immediately we think about all the things we never achieved. We never did. Here I am cooking and cleaning and doing laundry. Where am I going to get all this? He's got all the luck, He has no ties to his family, so he can go and learn this and become that and earn this money and go wherever he wants. I'm stuck here at home with my children and my responsibilities. I could have done this. Had I married differently, I could have been somewhere else. That guy, I should have married him. This is what we start thinking. We start thinking about all the things that we could have done or should have done or would have done or should have done. What is the point? What is the point? Initially I struggled a lot with jealousy. And you think that that's something that wouldn't pass me by. But especially when I just published my book, and I saw it was not an instant success. I couldn't stand reading success stories about others that published and succeeded. But then I realized that by envying their success, it just made me feel miserable for that period of time. And I don't want to feel miserable. I only want to be happy. So then you train yourself that as soon as that thought comes, you see someone who's done better than you, or you say, oh my God, I wish Take that thought, put it in the no-no basket. You carry that no-no basket everywhere you go. No, 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 not this one, no, no. And you train yourself to instead bask in their glory, like you did it yourself. Wow, we women, if it's a woman author, we women have come a long way. You take all the success that she has and put it in your hat. It's a nice way of turning things around. And if it's a man, you say humankind has come a long way. We can find different ways of tricking our mind into being perfectly peaceful. Not too happy, not too sad, not too scared, not overconfident. It's a balance. You don't want black, you don't want white, you want something in the middle. You don't want to feel too much joy, because you know that if you feel too much joy, the next thing that you're going to feel is misery. The opposites are extremely important, and we need to keep these opposites in perfect harmony. Sometimes my children accuse me of being emotionless. Like, don't you feel for me? And they'll tell me something, oh mom, I've got this. And say, wow, really nice. And that's not the reaction they were expecting. They want me to go screaming and shouting from the rooftops. But I don't feel that way anymore. I check myself so I don't show too much happiness or too much sadness. Everything is just, you're circumspect. It's in its place. It's a job that was done today. It's a happening that took place today. Nothing is too good or nothing is too bad. That way, you're not putting yourself in a position inferior or superior continually. Don't we do that? Someone walks into the room, you're already finding a little box in your head to put them into. She's blonde haired, she's blue eyed, she's wearing good clothes, so that means she must be from this sort of a background, she must be Christian or Jewish. We're already classifying them depending on their faith and their religion. We're doing that all the time. And with this person I feel comfortable, with this person I don't want to mix with because she makes me feel inferior. Or you feel superior to somebody else. You feel you're better than them, that you've achieved much more, that you have the money to show for it, the house to show for it. You are neither better nor worse than anybody. Think of life as a balancing act, that you're on scales. And the scales at all times must be completely balanced. It's only then that you will always access that happiness and that peace that you deserve. All these are distortions of love. A little jealousy, a little envy, a little greed, a little bit of lust, a little bit of delusion. Your true nature is love. When it ferments, it becomes anger. When it sours, it becomes jealousy. Right? It's just because you love to be in that state of what you envy. And because you can't get it, there's an upsurge of a negative emotion. Awareness is everything. We meditate so we can be aware for the duration of the day. 30 minutes in a day for yourself. 10 minutes of breathing followed by 20 minutes of meditation. That can change the quality of your entire day. Because you become aware. 2 days you're yelling at your husband, On the third day, you tell yourself, even if he yells, I will smile. Even if he shouts, I will compliment him. He cannot yell at me after that. He has to see that I have only love for him. But if you react, if you let that balance go, you are off center. You're on one leg. You're all torcido. What is torcido in English? Crooked. And you can't think straight. But torcido is a nicer word, I have to say. It just says it all. You can't function properly. You have to have awareness in the day of what you say, when you said it. There has to be some reflection. Looking back on your day and learning and moving on is what a wise person does. That's what the knowledge is for. The knowledge is so you're aware and you can make modifications so that you are always happy. Always happy. That is your birthright. Don't let your mind, don't let the ego, don't let the intellect come in the way of the self. The self is always at peace. Every single day, connect with yourself. Connect for 30 minutes. And then you can meet President Obama, you can meet Oprah Winfrey, you can meet Gandhi, whoever you want. And just enjoy being in their presence.